Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. Today we are going to talk about the ocean. Did you know that the World Oceans Day was celebrated on June 8 to show how important our oceans are and to make people aware of the damage that plastic pollution can do to all the ocean. Oceans are important for carbon sequestration, climate regulation, oxygen production, food and medicine production and more. To truly protect our oceans, we need to deal with plastic waste worldwide. Oxygen comes mainly from our oceans and they store 50 times more carbon dioxide than the air we breathe. Second, the ocean covers 70% of the Earth's surface. Third, the sea moves heat from the equator to the pole, which helps keep our climate and weather patterns stable. Finally, many medicines come from the sea, including ingredients that help fight cancer, arthritis, Alzheimer's disease, and heart disease. Since the 1950s, the amount of plastic made and used worldwide has been overgrown. Global output has doubled in the last 15 years to 299 million tons in 2020, which is last year, and is expected to double again in the next 20 years. Plastic is the most common type of pollution in the ocean today. The amount made is unknown, but it's also said that most of the trash that is building up in the outer seas is made of plastics. In the oceans, plastic made of synthetic materials causes problems for the environment, society, and Malaysia's economy, our country's economy, because it ends up in the water. According to the research, the world's oceans have between 15 and 51 trillion pieces of plastic in them. It's a lot. Plastic waste breaks down and moves around a lot, so it's found all over the world's oceans, from nearshore to the deep sea, from the equator to the poles, from surface waters to the deep sea floor. There's even more to the problem because the plastic waste sends waste from developed countries like the United States and Japan to developing countries like Malaysia and Indonesia. These countries in the developing world don't have the money to enforce strict laws against plastic waste outside their borders, and some can't recycle that waste. As a result, it's easier for dangerous, unclean, non-recyclable and mixed waste to be dumped in these countries, becoming polluted. These plastic wastes are put away differently. About 60% of all plastic made are thrown away in landfills or as trash, making our land and oceans dirty. Oceans are where a lot of land-based plastics go when they are done. The major study from 2021 this year says that about 80% of the plastic released into the world each year is made up of plastic that comes from thousand rivers. Rivers like the Klang River, which are small and urban, are the ones that cause the most worry. A lot of plastic goes into the ocean from rivers everywhere. Malaysia came third, which is Klang River, in the top 20 most polluting countries, with a total of 0.07 million metric tons. Plastic wastes are harmful because they emit greenhouse gases when they break down, which makes climate change worse. Second, make the environment look bad. Third, trap, obstruct and eat land and marine animals. Fourth, degrade into micro and nanoplastics that stay in the environment. Fifth, may release or leach toxic additive and contaminants. Sewage and organic waste from sewage treatment plants, storm drains and plastic microbeads are scraps that make the environment look so bad. Litter can also be spread by recreational boats, fishing boats and scientific research vessels if they don't properly store and dispose of it on board. More, the following things could cause pollution to get into the ocean from the land. Rain and wind move haphazard piles of trash into nearby rivers. Recreational activities on the coast can leave a lot of waste behind. Illegal or improper trash dumping due to the town's landfills being close to the sea. There are a lot of poorly managed landfills. When there are high headwinds and a lot of rain, the trash pile up in landfills has a good chance of getting into the ocean. The manufacturing and transportation of plastics and raw resin materials can end up in the sea because of lousy management during processing, production and transportation. Pollution in the sea is very bad for people and the environment. Marine debris is common and harms many marine organisms, such as mammals, birds, fish and invertebrates. For example, fishing lines and nets that have been left behind can hurt marine life by tying them up, cutting them or making it hard for them to move. Fish can make it hard for them to eat and breathe. Marine organisms are prone to swallowing plastic that contain an iron normal for them to have in in their bodies. In addition, some of this plastic can hurt the marine organism intestines, or they can make the intestines stop eating because of them, because of the plastic. Fighting marine pollution will require many changes in how we live and what we eat. It's a vast and complicated problem that cannot be solved by going about business as usual or relying on existing regulations and policies. The current regulatory system is broken up and doesn't cover everything that needs to be done in truly circular economy, like getting resources, designing products, making them, using them and recycling them. Note that we will never get rid of plastics in Malaysia or clean up the water, but we can cut down on our waste fuel consumption and recycle some things to cut down on the energy needed to make new things. For example, old clothes should be thrown away in the right way. If we don't want to throw away old clothes or books, we can recycle them by giving them to companies like HHI that are good for the environment and make new resources. Parents, schools and local governments, our government should use their power to teach their kids about civic responsibility and how to care for the environment. Our future children should be a part of environmental slogans and tests to help protect the environment. Residents will dispose of their trash more efficiently, and sanitation workers will work more quickly if there are more trash cans. Policy bans need to help new businesses to get off the ground as soon as possible. In honor of World Ocean Day on June 8, it's time for Malaysia's ocean pollution laws to be changed. Section 34A of the Environmental Quality Act 1974 requires an environmental impact report. Section 34B requires written permission from the authority before putting or dumping scheduled waste on land. Or in Malaysian waters, these rules may not be enough because of how plastic waste ends up in the ocean. In addition, we have poor waste management, which the Solid Waste and Public Cleansing Management Act 2007, which local governments run, doesn't deal with. The 1974 Act doesn't deal with that. As a result, it's crucial to ensure that waste management and environmental pollution rules are more strict so that plastic waste doesn't end up in the ocean and pollute the environment. I think that's all from me. Thank you for listening.